What's going on, y'all? 75Junction. It's Sherman, and we have a very special guest today, Marquetta. It's Marquetta or Marquetta?
Marquetta.
Marquetta. Okay, Marquetta here. She has a business, and can you tell us a little bit about that and a little bit about yourself?
Of course. The name of my business is Essential Peace Life Enrichment Services,
Mm-hmm.
and we go by Essential Peace.
Okay.
But it is a counseling, life coaching, consulting, and community outreach empowerment center.
Okay, and that's huge because we don't have, as far as I know, this might be me speaking from ignorance because I haven't done a lot of research on it, but from what I know, I haven't seen a lot of organizations like that are giving back to the community and giving back to youth and giving them basically a way to facilitate their mental growth, dealing with their issues, and just kind of escaping from the world just for a little bit, whether it be an hour, however long.
Well, it's a mental health organization, and there are a lot of counseling organizations out there that are doing really good work. Our approach, I think, is a bit different because we have what's called our C4 approach because we're about to blow up. No.
Oh my gosh.
but honestly, our approach incorporates not just counseling, but coaching, and not just coaching, but consulting and community outreach. So I think that's what makes us different in that regard, is because counseling is important as you're going from where somebody has been, what their struggles have been, and you're getting to the root cause of those struggles. And so it makes counseling a very important tool for mental health and wellness. But then at the same time, there are instances where it's not about what's underneath the surface, but where you are and where you're trying to get to. So for us, our mission is to help people belong, believe, and become who they're purposed to be through counseling, coaching, consulting, and community outreach. So in some instances, like I'm a basketball fan.
Okay, who's
Big
your
up
team?
to the Warriors.
Hey, that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about.
Day,
All the way.
Draymond, look, let's go. My play cousin.
All day.
But no, sincerely, for me, because I'm a basketball fanatic, honestly. And I love basketball. No disrespect to football or anything like that. But basketball, you got to be able to play both ends of the court, right?
Right, absolutely.
And so what I love about that and how it relates to the coaching aspect of things is in life, you got to be on your offense and your defense. And sometimes what happens with people is it's not that their challenges require counseling, but coaching. How can I get from where I am to where I want to be? Look, we got this many minutes. Let's make it happen. And so I really love coaching because you sit down with people and you say, okay, you know what? What's the plan? And we develop the plan and the strategy together, and we work it out so you can become who you're purposed to be. Because at the end of the day, depression, anxiety, and a lot of the common mental health challenges that people face really get back to not living in purpose.
Absolutely.
Either broken relationships, financial struggles, or, and sometimes a religion. A lot of hurt people out there,
Right.
Ain't no hurt like church hurt.
Yeah, definitely.
But then, a big part of what people struggle with that gives them anxiety and depression is I don't know why I'm here. I don't know what I'm purposed to do. So Essential Peace will be committed to helping people get from where you are to where you're purposed to be.
Okay, that's actually, and I'm glad that you said that because a lot of people, so like me, for myself, for example, I kind of have, not right now, but there will be certain points in my life where I've had senses of, I guess, existential depression where it's like, why am I here? What is my purpose? So I'm kind of just aimlessly going through life trying to figure out what it is that I'm here to do. So, doing the podcast and things like that, they kind of almost help give me a sense of direction. They help give me a purpose and give me something like, okay, this is maybe not what I'm meant to do, but it's what I like doing. It's what I enjoy doing. So let me, roll with this and see where it takes me. And,
Absolutely.
Things like that.
Absolutely. And it's necessary that we all have that, right? So everything has a purpose. But if it's not clear about its purpose, or if the purpose is misused. So take, for instance, my son, who is now 9, but at a certain point in time, we call him the Hulk affectionately. He was a big baby, and he would pick up stuff and throw it. And I used to have a radio because I love music. Music is therapy. And I used to have a radio in the kitchen. He would always look at that radio, eyeing that radio. And I would just be like, one day he's going to get a hold of my radio. And sure enough, he did. He picked it up, hauled it across the kitchen. What did it do? It crashed, broke all up.
Oh my gosh.
At 9 years old, he would never do that. But the reason he did it back then is because he didn't understand its purpose.
Okay.
So what I mean by that then, as it relates to us in our lives, is we mishandle ourselves when we don't know our purpose. we put ourselves in situation, we extend ourselves beyond what we should extend ourselves because we're not clear about what we should be doing. My son took that radio, not knowing his purpose, picked it up, slung it like it was a baseball, crashed it and broke it up. I see so many people doing the same thing with their lives. I don't know my purpose. And so I'm taking my life and I'm slinging it all over the place because I'm not clear about what I'm supposed to be doing. So I'm extremely passionate about sitting down with people and let's figure this thing out, because you have a reason, your purpose to be here. There's something that you are predestined to do. Let's figure out and get beneath the surface and find out what that thing is. And I'm a huge proponent of creative therapy. Music is therapy, dance is therapy, photography is therapy. What you're doing is right now providing talk therapy. It is a form of creative outlet that allows people to get through mental health challenges. So, for me, let's figure that thing out. Counseling, important. Let's get to the root cause. Coaching, let's develop a strategic plan to get to where you're trying to be. And then consulting, hey, let me go into some places with people who may not know. They may have been trained to teach English, not trained to deal with behavior.
Right.
So let me offer up my support in helping to equip them to manage some challenges with people that they're not necessarily equipped to manage. And that doesn't make the person bad, the child bad, because you weren't equipped to learn how to handle their challenges. And so we need to stop labeling them. Let's get you the skill set you need. Not that the child doesn't have a challenge. But if all you're trained to do is teach them history, then you might not be as effective with them because they're a whole person.
Right.
So yeah, I love it.
Okay.
I love it.
That's amazing. And what kind of inspired you to make the name? So you incorporated a puzzle piece for your logo. So can you talk a little bit about that and where you drew inspiration for that and how you kind of came to that conclusion,
wow.
I guess, for the name?
Excellent question. Gosh. I so appreciate that question. Sincerely. The ideal for Essential Peace came almost 10 years ago, a little more than 10 years ago. And really what God placed upon my heart was, first and foremost, for me, He is my essential peace. That's not true for everyone, you know? And so I don't push my belief systems off onto everyone, but I'm clear that for me, if there wasn't a Christ in my life, there would be no Marquetta. And then beyond that, He started speaking to me about my purpose, and He had me to understand that, everybody is an essential piece. And so no one person is the entire puzzle, right? If you have a puzzle and it's missing a piece, then that piece makes the puzzle incomplete.
Right.
And so you can't replace another puzzle piece with another puzzle piece. Each piece is individually and authentically different. So for me, that's what Essential Peace gets back to. Our vision is to connect people to pieces that enrich their person and empower them for life. But at the essence of it, it really gets back to understanding that nothing is complete unless you are operating in your essential purpose being your essential piece. And for me, ultimately, I want people to look at what I'm doing and say, you know what? Why is she doing that in a measure of excellence? And my response back will be because of my essential piece. Because I want people to see the good work I do and not celebrate me, but celebrate my God. That's majorly important to me.
Absolutely.
That people will see beyond Marquetta. It's
Okay.
so much bigger than me, No puzzle piece is about one person, So for me, I'm so hyped, stoked about connecting with genuine people.
Right.
People that are just, I say all the time, I'm classy at the core, but I'm rough around the edges. And so I appreciate connecting with people who are similar.
Right.
But I also understand that people, again, to make up the full puzzle, you got to have all different types of people. Right. So I'm excited in this season of my life to connect with people who are so committed to using their artistry and their purpose to heal and help people get better.
Okay.
So,
and I'm glad you said that about genuine people, because I feel like a lot of times people try to water themselves down or, portray themselves as somebody who they're not, or portray themselves differently just to appease to other people. And, especially doing business, obviously you want to be professional, but
right.
Even still, after professional is done, you should still be able to talk to them as a human being, as a person.
That's right.
with genuine intent behind it. A lot of people kind of lose sight of that over time. At least that's how I've seen it. And just off of interactions I've had with other people, that's kind of what I see. So, I can appreciate that, and I'm glad that you brought attention to that. Now, when you're dealing with, is it just for like people that are the youth, or is it for just everybody as a whole?
Our target population is everyone from ages 3 on up.
Okay.
So it's, really intergenerational, multicultural, because we're looking at the whole person. So it's really about the whole person and the whole family. It's really hard to take a person out of their element and send them back into that same environment and say, okay, I expect them to be completely well. Now, in some instances, we don't have families who are willing to participate holistically, but that's the goal. That's the aim, for everybody to understand, like, we are all a part of this puzzle. We all got to work together. If somebody is having a mental health challenge, trust me, it's spilling over. What affects one directly affects another indirectly.
Absolutely.
So you have to be willing, honestly, to operate as a family and work together to deal with challenges. But again, that's not everybody's perspective, but that's the goal. And then we have a multicultural approach. Of course, I love us, and I have no qualms with saying that I have a particular burden for making sure that people that look like me are all right. Because they experience challenges differently in this world.
Absolutely.
But then by the same regard, I love all people. I just genuinely do. So I want to be able to work with all people. And then I have a special burden for the Hispanic culture and Latino community. So I am intentional in that regard, hiring and connecting with therapeutic persons who can provide, who are bilingual. I'm bilingual. So providing an opportunity for people to be able to come who in the Hispanic community, or I should say Latino community, a lot of them will not come and receive counseling support. Let's take care of it in the family.
Right.
So, part of our intention is to provide a safe haven for people in that community as well.
Okay, just make people feel like, because like from interactions I've had with other Latina people, they're a very stubborn culture. You know what I'm saying? As our black people, we're real quick to say, nah, I'm good, or I don't need no help. But I mean, something's got to give eventually, because it leads to other issues, because it might not lead to something as severe as suicide, but it might trickle down to something else like abuse or alcoholism or other things, because mental health is not mutually exclusive to one group of people or one age group or anything like that. Anybody can experience it. So
absolutely. And it's not the extremes. We think about mental health challenges, right? And we start thinking extreme, somebody going into a school and shooting up a school. And,
right.
And that's mental health challenges. Real talk. If you tell me you've never experienced a mental health challenge, you're either lying to me or you need to keep living. Most of the time you're lying. Because at some point, all of us have experienced at least a depressive state, at least, but then the other part of it is the stigma of it, right? So people don't want to deal with the stigma. If I tell you my tooth is aching, that's not a problem. If I tell you my back hurt, tell you my arm is messed up, it's not an issue. But if I tell you mentally today I'm not feeling it, that's an issue. So
right.
I'm gonna fix this because I feel it.
Yeah, no, I saw. I was looking at him. I was like, I don't want to say anything.
No,
I want to make it hot.
It.
Okay, cool. I'm glad you got it before I got to
no
it.
problem. And then I didn't want to have you trying to interview me looking at it the whole time. Like, can she fix that? Right?
No, it's fine. It's fine. It happens. But no, that's powerful. And I commend you just for making an organization that's just for the people. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because we don't have enough of that within our own communities as far as support is concerned and things like that. I mean, people are so quick to downplay things, or they're so quick to hide things and not bring it to light. So you giving them a venue or making them comfortable, because a lot of people, especially in the black community and Latino community, I hate to keep going back to the race thing, but they look at it from a perspective like, why would I go talk to a white person who can't relate to the issues that I have to deal with every day? So when they see somebody that looks like them, that's saying, you can come here, you can talk to us, we can work through this together, they're like, okay, you know what? You can understand where I'm coming from. You understand things that I have to deal with in my background. So sure, let me go ahead and talk to you like that. And that kind of leads me to my next question. So if somebody were to look for consulting or to talk to you about things like that, what kind of venue would they take? Like, do you have like a website posted? Would they hit you up on social media, or is there kind of just no straight cut way to do it?
Well, there is a straight cut way to do it. Our website actually is launching the day of the grand opening.
Okay.
So that's May 25th. So they'll be able to reach us that way. And it'll be just like it sounds, www.essentialpeace.com. So they'll be able to reach us that way. And there's a referral link that they can have that they could click up there. The other thing is they can come right to the agency. We're in Hampton at 12 Salters Creek Road, Suite 200. No appointment necessary. Come, knock, come on upstairs. We have a number they can call us, and that's 757-750-3505. So I encourage them to call as well. But listen, anyway you're trying to get to us, we're also on Facebook. There's an Essential Peace Facebook page, and they can message us there. Quite honestly, that's how a lot of people contact me, is through Facebook. So really, the website is more functional than it is really, I think, the best way to get in touch. But anyway they have to, if you need support, just like with anything else you really want, make it happen.
Okay.
And we're going to respond. And the thing about our vision too is the fact that we say we connect you to pieces that enrich you, empower you. So I don't believe in trying to communicate that we do all things. The point is, what I can do, I will do. But if there's someone else who can do what you need better, I'm not going to have you with us when there's somewhere else that can provide you with the support you need.
Absolutely.
So the other part of what we do is not just providing everything at our agency. We connect with other people who are effective, who do things this way. And this way are our core values for us. It gets back to being teachable, humble, integral servants who are wise, accountable, and authentically you. We do things this way. And if there are other agencies out there who do things this way, who can help you better than we can, we're going to connect you. So
okay, that's powerful. That's good, because a lot of people are, not obviously this doesn't pertain to you, but a lot of people that make their own businesses, their own ventures, they're very selfish in the sense they're like, I want to have all of this. I don't want to. And it hurts the customer at the end of the day, because you're refusing to give them what they need.
Absolutely.
You're trying to give them what they need when you don't have it.
Absolutely.
And that the fact that you can go ahead and just divert them, like, well, I know you need this. I can't really do this, but I know somebody who can do it. And that's half of the battle right there, is just finding somebody to give them that outlet and that support and all that stuff. So that's powerful. Now, when you mentioned your grand opening, you guys, is it a facility that you're opening up? Like, can you tell me a little bit more about that?
Absolutely. Yeah. We're a facility that's opening up in Hampton. We are next to what's called War Memorial Stadium. And it's, again, at 12 Salters Creek Road. I love where we are. And it is a little out the way, but right in the midst of everything, all at the same time, right in the midst, right next to Sherm Road area. And so, the great thing about the building for me is, and I pray when people come through, they'll see, is it matters to me. Like, from the time you hit the door, what you see, what you smell, how you feel, everything. We put a lot of effort into making sure that people feel like they belong here from the moment they come through the door. If you're coming through with already stresses and struggles, please come through and feel comfortable. And so I pray people will come out to the grand opening so that you'll come and feel, and experience Essential Peace, not just hear about it, you know. And then, because for us, the other part of our C4 approach is community outreach. Not everybody is going to come to you, so you got to put things out there for people. And I'm all about touching the people. Not to digress or go off track a little, but, we recently lost Nipsey Hussle.
Right.
And I don't know how that impacted everyone, but I know how it hit me real hard,
Absolutely.
We share a common purpose and a common method for reaching people. I don't want to be someone that's sitting in the background, or sitting up here. I don't care how much status you get. You got to be able to touch people, be real, relevant. So for the grand opening, for me, is so important, because on that day, it's about being real and relevant. It's about relationship. It's about showing people, not just telling them you can get better, but showing them and providing some things for them that give them the tools they need to get better. And then it's just, a huge family affair. Come on and let's just love on each other and enjoy being with one another. And that won't be the first, it will be the first time, it won't be the last time that we do it. We'll do it regularly because it is about creating a place where people feel like they belong.
Okay, definitely. Wow, that's crazy. I mean, that's, again, the direction that you're going with this. I haven't met somebody that is so passionate about, like, I've heard of people, I've seen people, but I've never actually had the chance and opportunity to meet somebody that actually is that genuine and just caring for the people, so again, I appreciate you for that. And it's huge, it's monumental, it's something that we need in the area, it's something that everywhere needs. And I think we're gonna get there with time. It's just time and just getting the right people in the right places to do the right things.
Absolutely.
Which is what we're missing ultimately. So can you tell me a little bit about what went into getting the facility, like what the process was like, and just as an entrepreneur, obviously, it's a big step to get a whole building,
right,
so can you tell me a little bit about that and
Absolutely.
What went into that?
Absolutely. Gosh, you ask great questions.
Thank you.
Listen, you know what? And the reason that to me is such a great question is because it was difficult trying to find a space and get a space for a couple of different reasons. One is, when you're starting out in business, real talk is we went through a season of our lives, my husband and I, we lost our jobs the same day, the same time.
Wow.
I went from making a 6-figure salary to nothing overnight. And the bills don't change, you know. I'm a mother of 5. My oldest is 20, will be 28, and my youngest is 9. And back then they were, that's a few years ago, so it was younger. And we had saved up money to open up the business, but that was depleted because now we had to live,
right.
But with that, like, credit got jacked up because you just can't easily replace a 6-figure salary and the bills don't change.
Right.
So saying all of that to say, one side of getting the building was getting people to trust the vision and that, I know what it says I look like on paper, but I'm true to this. I promise you, I'm not new to this. I'm true to this. I'm real about what I'm doing. Please see beyond this paper, because I can do this and I'm prepared for it. And that's hard because not all people want to trust you. And so because of that, I have a burden on my heart for young entrepreneurs and people out there trying to start and get started. So I open up my business in the building regularly to people for their efforts, because it's hard to get a business started, but it's really hard to get a building.
I can
real
imagine.
talk.
I can imagine.
And then the overhead of it, not everybody has the capital to do that. So I was blessed even with that, to have capital restored so that I could go and be able to afford it. And, some will say, well, don't pay off your, rent. You don't know your, rent. You don't know how it can go. Don't pay off your rent. No, I'm paying off rent. And I'm making sure we're secure because it's bigger than me. Right. There are people right now who honestly call me up and say, hey, can I use your conference room for this? Can I use it for this? And as long as they do things this way, and, they respect who we are, you're not going to come into the building and then later on they say, oh, that happened at Essential Peace.
Right.
But as long as they're true to what they're doing, I facilitate an open space. The other part of what made getting a building difficult was there are a lot of counseling agencies out there, right? And unfortunately, and this is no knock at any one particular organization, but the reality of it is there is a negative stigma out there about counseling agencies just really taking advantage of people, popping up, and all they're really trying to do is take your money, and they don't really help you to get better. So because there's so many of them in and throughout Hampton, and a lot of them are on the same strip or in the same building,
right,
it was like, okay, well, I don't want to do that. So with that being said, it was like, okay, how do I find a place that is out of the way but still in the heart of things, so people will come and want to be there. So getting the building was a process, and then when I got into the building, it had been vacant for like 7 years. So then it was, okay, and now you got to create a space where people want to come and feel what the vision is, you know.
So I'm assuming there's a lot of renovations that went into it and things like that.
Yeah, and it's, you know, it's blood, sweat, and tears.
Yeah,
Because
definitely.
it's you know, it's you making that happen, and not everybody sees it. I remember the walls being what I call prison paint blue when I came in. I was like, oh no, I can't have people coming in here that are depressed feeling more depressed, you know.
Right.
So it was little things like that, but they matter. Sensory things matter to
Absolutely.
people. So, you know, even coming into your spot, like, I love it. I love how bright it is. I love the intentionality of it. Automatically, when you come in, it, like, because of the color choice and the decorum, it makes you feel a bit more at ease.
No, I appreciate that. That, like you said, I'm huge on, like you said, sensory details, because and there's nothing like seeing what something was, having a vision of what it can be, and then making that vision come true. Like, there's nothing better than like this, like alone, like. You know, I come here every day, but you know, I find solace in this room because you know, I put my vision into it and I made it happen. You know, so that's definitely powerful. And I can definitely relate to that.
And I'm loving it. Like, I'm in here and I'm loving it. That's what I probably, you know, you have immediate thoughts when you come into a place, and that was my immediate thought, and it sets the stage for how you receive the interaction. Because, like, oh, you know what? I respect it, because he already done put intention behind creating an atmosphere where, okay, this is what I do.
Right.
You know, so I love it.
Absolutely. And I appreciate that. Now, going back to, you know, getting the building and things like that. So, you know, obviously you got to put renovations into it. You have to have the capital. You have to have, I mean, there's so many things that have to line up, especially for something as monumentous as getting a building. Now, and people don't value credit. You know, I wish that a lot of people coming up, especially in you know, our community, I wish people would get the knowledge that they need to be successful in life, because they don't teach in school how to build your credit. They don't teach finance classes. They don't teach all these things that will set children up to think monetarily and to think generationally. In the sense that, okay, I have to make as much money as I can. You know, and obviously enjoy life, you know, because money isn't everything, but it's essential at the same time. But you want to make sure that you set yourself up and your family up, and generations to come, to have that generational wealth and to have a means to live a good life, you know, because a lot of people are deprived. A lot of people are stuck in the lower middle class or the poor, you know. So I think that is something that we also need. So do you guys offer things like that as well? Like seminar classes, like, oh, we're gonna teach the youth about finance.
I'm ready to throw my shoe at you, because I'm like, but obviously you know, your purpose to do what you're doing. So let me say this again, getting back to connecting with pieces that are enrich you and empower you. One of the things that we're doing right now is working with another group. And so shout out to Dina. You know, I won't offer up her last name because
okay.
But she is all about, you know, my thing is mental health is wealth. Her thing is financial health is wealth, you know. And so she wants people healthy financially. And to do that, you have to be equipped with knowledge that you're not offered every day.
Right.
And so she and I are right now working on some strategic plans to do a full-fledged workshop series, just and free to the public, just to teach them the strategies and techniques they need. And you're right, it's so important, because honestly, a lot of that feeds back into mental health, depression, anxiety. When you don't know how you're going to pay your bills, or when you feel like you're just getting by and you're stuck in that rut, a part of it can be you haven't learned to operate in purpose yet, but a part of it may be you haven't learned how to manage what you have and how to make what you have work. Now I've been blessed to, and I say it just like that, blessed. God has given me a special gift with learning how to take what I have to how to make money.
Right.
But by the same token, what tends to happen with us is we just learn how to get by. You know, we learn how to take what we have and say, okay, this is the check. Let me pay all of these bills. Or not pay all of these bills, depending upon what's going on in our lives. And then let's do it all over again in 2 more weeks.
Okay.
And so investing is not something we become knowledgeable about. What things really impact our credit are things that we don't have full understanding of, the importance of diversifying our credit, the importance of understanding that if you miss one credit card payment, it takes you 6 months to repair that.
Yep.
One credit card payment. We're not thinking about those type of things.
Absolutely.
So, I'm all for that. And again, it's not something that we will specialize in. We're going to partner with someone who is specializing in that area. And every opportunity I can have to facilitate her doing that, I will do.
Okay.
Because it's so necessary. But then by the same token, what she's talked about is seeing people in those sessions that because of the financial stresses, they are suffering with other mental health challenges, and that's where the partnership comes in.
Okay.
So she's dealing with the financial wealth, I'm dealing with the mental health, and together we form a great team.
Okay. So that goes into, someone comes to your facility, they're like, hey, I'm having, I've been really depressed lately. I'm having some struggles. I can't pay my bills. I don't know what to do. I don't know how to manage my money. And you're like, okay, hold that thought. I'll refer you to, what was her name?
Her name is Dina.
Dina. Okay. So I'll refer you to Dina.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
And when they put together their full-fledged marketing, I don't have any problem with saying who their company is and all of that. I might be putting her on the spot a little bit today, so I don't want to do that. But absolutely. A part of what life coaching does is come in and say, okay, let's assess what the full scope of the issues are. And then we're going to develop a strategic plan for getting you there.
Okay.
So, if somebody comes in and says, okay, I want to go to school. Well, I'm not a school, but I can help you develop a strategic plan, connect you with the right sources, teach you how to fill out an application, make sure you understand how to take online versus in-person courses, get you with what you need. There are people who want to open businesses. They don't know how.
Right.
And I've been there. I understand that. So they may be struggling with their financial management, but also they need the strategic insight on how to get from here to there. How do I open a business? When people ask me, how do you do what you do? I don't, well, it took a lot of this. No. If you really want to know, I'll walk with you through this thing, because there are so many people who didn't necessarily help me do that, and I know what it's like to be trying to figure it out.
Right.
And why,
Absolutely.
And why, MLK talked about us being, it's my favorite quote of all time. It's called the interrelated structure of reality. And he talks about the fact that, I can't be what I'm ought to be until you are what you ought to be. And you can't be what you ought to be until I am what I ought to be. It's the interrelated structure of mutuality. It matters, so why wouldn't I want you to be the best you could be?
Right.
Why wouldn't I don't care if we're doing the same thing. There are so many people out here who need support. So let's do the same thing and do it well.
Absolutely.
One of the most exciting things about opening up this business, real talk, is being able to take good care of employees. If they're going to work someplace 40 plus hours they may not love what they do. That's the, I feel like, the pipe dream that we sell people. You're going to love what you do all the time.
Right.
That ain't true all the time.
Absolutely.
They may not love what they do, but they ought to love where they work. I can help control that. I can help control creating a space where they love coming. That doesn't mean there won't be challenges, but if I take good care of you and do my best, you may leave one day because your purpose to be somewhere else, but let it be because your purpose to be somewhere else, not because you let me get away from that place.
Right.
So just all in all, I'm just excited about being able to take good care of people on all fronts.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's good. So when talking about, dealing with mental health and opening up an institution, what are some of the legalities that go into? So do you have to, do you have to have certifications? Do you have to have a degree, background, all those things? And when you have people that you're hiring, are you hiring people with psychology degrees and things like that? What is the encompassing infrastructure like?
Absolutely. So first and foremost, opening an empowerment center like mine does not require you to have a license in counseling, but I have a team of people who are licensed.
Okay,
so,
gotcha.
So again, the intention is to provide a holistic approach. My background is in counseling. My undergraduate degree is in psychology. So it's important to have a background, I think, because of the experiential knowledge. I oversaw a therapeutic program for years. I was the director of a day treatment and in-home and mental health counseling agency. for quite some time. But that's not the full scope of what's equipped me to do this. But as far as having a full team of people, you got to diversify the team. You got to have people who are skilled and trained up and certified in different areas. So for me right now, yeah, I do have licensed counselors on staff. I do have a licensed clinical social worker that's working with me. I do have people that are QMHPs, qualified mental health professionals, and that is a requirement.
Okay.
And you can have a background in a human service field. And then there is, by state law, a credentialing process that has to be in place, and so you become a qualified mental health professional. I am right now vetting certified life coaches, and I say certified because everybody's a life coach these days. But there is an umbrella and a field and a training process to becoming a life coach, and I don't feel like that is the only thing necessary. Like sometimes people, get real offended. I'm good at what I do, even if I don't have the educational background. I'm not dismissing people's natural gifts and talents, but I am stressing the importance of finding balance in that. I'm a lifelong student of my field. I want to be relevant. And I want to stay on top of evidence-based approaches to providing clinical support. And you can't be serious about this field and not stay on top of evidence-based practice, you know? So definitely with respect to qualifications, there is a diversity of things that are needed. And so you have to be intentional in finding different people with different skill sets and different educational backgrounds. But I will say this. In looking for that, I'm also looking for people who are not just educated, but are relational people. Because that's the other part of it. Again, it gets back to balance. I know a lot of people with a lot of degrees, but they can't relate to people. And so,
Gotcha.
So I need foot soldiers. I need people who can get on that front line and really help people deal with what's going on. And that takes more than education. You got to have what I call the it factor. You got to have it. You got to something in you that's purpose to do this. And so, I want to make sure I'm clear about that too, that there has to be a balance. So I do, probably attract an eclectic type of approach.
Okay.
I say it like that. A collective group. We, we probably don't always look the part, but we're good at what we do.
That's all that matters.
And that's what matters to me. I don't care how educated you are. If you can't reach the person that's walking through the door, I don't need you here. I don't need a resume. I need somebody that can relate.
Okay. So you need people that are empathetic. They can sit down with you and relate, not only just relate, but feel what you're feeling or feel how you felt before. And if they've never felt it before, they can somewhat understand where you're coming from, you know what I'm saying? Because that's most of it, because nothing's worse than talking to somebody and it just seems like you're not connecting to them. It feels like you're not getting through to them, and they're not hearing what you're saying. They're listening, they're hearing, but they're not listening, because there's a difference between the two.
Absolutely.
So
absolutely. When I'm interviewing, one of the things I ask is, are you currently experiencing any mental health issues, or have you ever? And I watch people flounder through that question. They kind of flip around and makes them uncomfortable. And most of the time I get, well, no, wrong answer.
Right.
See, now for a dentist, if you ask the dentist, has he ever had a toothache? It's okay for that dentist to say, sure. You ask a doctor, has he ever had a back, knee injury in it? And the doctor says, yes, it's okay. But for mental health, God forbid the person providing you mental health care says that they've ever had a mental health issue. It's backwards.
Right.
It's really backwards, So I'm never going to tell anyone that I've never had a mental health challenge. Absolutely I had. Losing my job. Please.
Yeah,
you talk about depression.
I can't even imagine. I can't.
You talk about, listen, depression like you wouldn't believe. And anxiety, I deal with it every day.
Okay, I got you. Now, for any concluding notes, do you have anything that we want to touch on? Because I want to take up too much of your time. So do you have anything that you want to touch on that maybe we didn't through the whole course of our interview?
The only thing, I just want to be very clear about is we are here to erase the stigma.
Right.
And to make talking about mental health as easy as you and I sitting here having this conversation, because you really made this easy for somebody like me who truly does suffer with anxiety. This is probably one of the worst things you could do to me.
Well, I'm glad it's been a smooth process for you.
But in order to achieve what we're setting out to achieve, which is to erase the stigma and to create the conversation, I want people to realize, listen, let's just talk about it. Let's just talk about it. Whatever it is, let's start there. Let's just get it out there. So at the grand opening, we're going to have a green carpet, because green is the color for mental health.
Okay.
And we're going to start having some green carpet conversations. And so be on the lookout for that, because that's something that's going to continue to happen. You know, for a while I was even afraid to release it. I'm like, you know what? Because then we're going to see all these other green carpet conversations.
Right.
But you know what? I got to do what I got to do. You know,
Right.
If people don't imitate it, then you probably ain't doing nothing worth doing.
No, definitely. I mean, it's nothing wrong with being a front runner. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
You set the trend. So, I mean, if it's one of those, if you know things, if you know who started it,
Yeah. And
So.
it really is about the movement. And honestly, again, it gets back to being bigger than me, because if I was selfish, I could stay in that space.
Right.
But the bottom line is, we all have to start having these green carpet conversations. You know, let's roll out the green carpet and talk. Red carpet, they talk about whatever on the red carpet, right? Green carpet, let's start talking about mental health. And let's make it easy to do it.
Okay. Now, so at this green carpet event, you're gonna have like actual like interview set up where you'll like have a microphone, you'll be walking around talking to people, like kind of pretty much like a red carpet, but instead of celebrity gossip or what movie you're starring or who you're wearing, it's more of a what are you wearing, what's on your mind, kind of thing like that.
Absolutely. And that's going to happen at the grand opening. That'll be the first one. Green carpet conversation. And again, it's going to be something that I continue to do. I'm not even necessarily looking to be the front face for it, but for people who have a natural gift of talent of working and talking with people, I want to create a space where if that's your thing, making it easy for people to talk, can you come to the green carpet and help start this conversation? So then that way people will feel really comfortable talking about their mental health challenges. Let's get it done.
Okay.
Yeah.
I got you. And that makes sense. When you're talking about that, can you hit record on those? They cut off all the way, so you're going to have to push record on all of them. Push OK. And then hit the record button. Okay. Same thing with that one. And just watch your feet behind you. That one's good. Sounds good. Yep. Okay, sorry about that.
No, it's okay.
Okay, so we got the green carpet coming up. So that's going to be May 25th, correct, at the grand opening. So you're going to sit there, you're going to talk about the green carpet and things like that. And then after the grand opening, it's going to be kind of business as usual. So it's going to be open to the public, and anybody that needs help can come there. They can hit you up online. So Facebook, through the website, consulting. You guys have Instagram as well.
Yep.
Okay, sweet. So y'all pretty much have all the bases covered as far as like how to get in contact with you.
Absolutely.
So okay, awesome. Well, cool. So you have anything else that you wanted to add?
No, I don't. But I thank you, for this time and the opportunity. And I'm being sincere, because if I don't, it's not necessary to give out compliments if you're not sincere about them.
Absolutely.
But I appreciate you, man.
Thank you. No, I appreciate you. I appreciate you giving me the time to come out and talk about your business and just sit down and relate with another genuine person, because I like you said, me personally, I thrive off of just meeting and conversing with genuine people.
Absolutely.
Just it brightens my day. It helps me get through.
Me too.
So
Absolutely.
I appreciate you just for your genuine mentality and just who you are as a person. So thank you.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
Absolutely. So everybody, make sure y'all check her out. Make sure y'all go online, check her website out. It's essentialpieces.com, correct?
Essential Piece.
Essential Piece. I'm sorry. No S. Okay. Make sure y'all check out on Instagram. Make sure y'all check her out on Facebook, and then make sure you guys pop up to the grand opening May 25th and have some green carpet talk. All right, Marquetta, I appreciate you coming out. Thank you very much.
All right. Thanks.
Thank you.